I'm Antoine,
I'm Santoine.
and we the Connected Experience. Bro, what's the Connected
Bro,
Experience?
it's a lifestyle,
The lifestyle.
our lifestyle.
How that lifestyle been treating you?
Oh man, I can't complain, man. They got us sitting here with best-selling author Travon Edwards, bro. We finally get a chance to sit down and chop it up and meet each other and kick it. So I can't complain about the lifestyle. What about you?
Man, that lifestyle treat me great. It always have, it always will. I heard a lot about Travon, so it's a pleasure to finally meet you, bro. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I can't complain, man. It's a blessing to be on your podcast. Thank you for having me on your platform first and foremost.
Oh, no
But
problem.
yeah, man, I'm just chilling, man. I'm just blessed, man. Just living life right now. Love it.
Dope. So over here at the Connected Experience, man, we just like to get to know the people behind all these things that they doing, because people do press runs and all of that when they got projects, but once them projects is done, people really don't get a chance to know who the person is that's behind these projects, man. And I got a chance to check out one of your projects, and we'll get into that later. But let's talk about, you got an interesting story, man. Let's talk about growing up in California and Florida, man, because that's two totally drastic different sides of the country, but it's hot both places.
That's literally the East Coast and the West Coast.
Now the weather is similar, but I mainly grew up in like Florida, but I spent a lot of time going back and forth between like Long Beach, Florida, and shit like that. But before I get into it, everything I say is for entertainment purposes. Uh, I am not an active gang member. I am not connected to any active gang members. These are all stories that I'm trying to monetize from when I was a teenager. So I just want to throw that out there just in case, anybody's watching, and trying to.
No, that's a great disclaimer though, because people need to know that people grow and evolve. But
Yeah.
what you grow and evolve into, those things that happen in your past is still a part of you, and you
Oh,
should be able to utilize that. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I wanted to monetize all of the negative things uh that I did when I was a teenager, really, because there's no 401k plan like when you a gangster, when you gang bang, there's no
Right.
retirement. You dead or in jail. So I'm like, man, like I've been through all this. I've been to prison and I got out, and then it was just like nothing. I was treated like a scrub. I was just like, no, like, man, what happened like 3-4 years ago? I'm this big gangster. It's like, nah, nigga, like, broke. You know what I'm saying? You don't have no money. So don't nobody care how many people is scared of you when you dusty and you broke. So
Right.
yeah,
So talk about, like we were saying, so you were born in Florida and
yeah,
traveled
yeah,
to Long Beach. So
yeah.
what part of Florida are you actually from? Because you're from a small city in Florida, right?
Deltona, like the sub Deltona slash D-Land. And that's where D-Land is where the book Project Baby it took place.
Okay, okay. So growing up down there, what was it like what was the culture shock like when you first went to California? When you first went to Long Beach, how old were you?
I was like 16, but it wasn't that much. Like I was shocked at the fact that it was like we were real similar. That's why it was easy for me to get accepted because we had like I don't know, we had like similar swaggers. I don't know. They was just like, damn, you away from Florida, but like you just like us. I'm like, damn, like we all kind of like the same. That's why it was really easy for me and Stanley to get along too. One, because I didn't grow up like beefing with him, you know what I'm saying, like every day.
Yeah.
But and two, we're real similar. We're on like Cali and Florida niggas. I don't know. We're on the same type of frequency. I don't know.
Now
Maybe.
listen though, what prompted the move to Long Beach? Did mom and dad break up or something?
Nah, it was. I wanted to be a part of the legitimate Crips. You know what I'm
So
saying?
you just went out. Wait a minute. So you left Florida and just went to Long Beach to be a legitimate Crip gang member.
Yeah.
That's crazy, but that's
It's
dedication.
it's wild. It's wild. It's crazy, and that's why I have to write stories about it. Cause I'm just like, man, ain't nobody gonna believe this shit. Like you just did this shit. Like nah, like
Right. So when you say legitimate Crip, was gang banging going on in your city at the time? And if it was, how was it introduced to your city?
I joined the illegitimate faction of the Crips in my city, and I'm just like, okay, like there was questions that niggas really couldn't answer because they're not really like connected to the source. So I wanted to be connected to the source. So I made that jump and I got connected to the source. So when I came back, now I outrank everybody. So it's like I used to be the nigga that niggas sent to the store. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like a couple years later, like now I'm big dog. Now you gotta listen to what I say because like I'm for real one of them ones, and you niggas is just cheerleaders. Y'all aren't number. Y'all not like legitimate. Like if you're gonna do something, like there's so many people calling Crip Blood, like I'm a rolling 60, but you call Slauson and Crenshaw, niggas don't know them niggas. They don't know.
Yeah, that's actually my biggest when it comes to gang banging, right? I don't have a problem with gangs per se. I have a problem with somebody from Delaware being a rolling 60 Crip and talking about Crenshaw and Slauson and never touch the soil, or somebody from the middle of the east side being a Mod Piru and they've never been to where Mod Pirus are from. If you gonna be a gang, just be a gang and represent where you from and build that name up. That's just how I feel about it.
That's how a lot of people feel about it, and that's how a lot of, especially the Long Beach niggas, they felt about it. Just like, why don't you just rep where you from? I'm just like, nah, this is what I was real persistent. I'm like, this is what I'm trying to do. And niggas was like, oh, well, you really, really want this? So I'm like, yeah, like I really want to be a legitimate Rolling 20 Crip, Long Beach 20 Crip. So I got put on.
So how did they accept you when you first touched the soil? This nigga from Florida talking about I'm literally here to be a gangbanger. How did they accept? Like, how did they receive that?
It's like, I mean, because niggas they already had seen me kind of like online.
Okay.
They had already seen, they were familiar with my face, but they're just like, yo, who's this nigga way out there talking about he's from the set, he banging the set, like what the fuck, like this nigga, who is this nigga? Like, I never seen you in the set. Niggas be like, yo, I never seen you in the set. How the fuck you from the set? I'm like, oh well, I got put on by X nigga, da da da. I'm like, yo, we don't know that nigga. You gotta come check in for real. I'm like, oh man. So
how did you get there, bro? How did you caught a flight? You caught the bus? How you get there?
Yeah. I caught a flight.
Well, where your parents was at? You just bust up at 16 and go be a gang member 3,000 miles across the country, bro.
Well, at that time, my stepdad like went to Maryland. He's a nigga who was really on me. And my mom, like, she was, bless her, but she was running her business. So it's like when you're running a business, it's like a baby. You know what I'm saying? So she was trying to start like a home, like we kept old people in our house.
Like home health care.
Home health care.
Yeah, we kept old people in our house. So she's busy. She got like 4 or 5 old people to tend to. She really, like she's thinking, I'm grown, like, and I got a little sister and shit like that. So she's not thinking I'm out doing like no dumb, crazy shit. But then when I consistently kept getting locked up, I just be like, and since this is the suburbs, I was able to pull off like, Ma, they just racist. They just fucking with me because and that shit lasted for years until I started getting like gang tattoos, and then she started finding like guns and shit. And the police.
How were you introduced to all of this though? Like, how were you introduced to gang banging?
Oh,
and then made a decision to be a Crip? Because you had to be introduced to this even in Florida. So how were you introduced to this?
Well, the neighborhood that I was staying in Deltona, it was called Montecito, and we kind of like came together. And during the time, like everybody had like cliques and gangs and shit like that. I think it was like 2004, 2005 type shit. Like that shit was like real popular in school. Everybody was like, oh, I'm blood, I'm Latin King and shit like that. So we wanted to start like all the black kids or whatever and Puerto Rican kids from the neighborhood. We kind of like all naturally gravitated towards each other. And this is where I wrote and Money Mac Murdered. This is like the first story. So it's like I ended up joining the Montecito boys, and we was just like, like I said, I was that little nigga, I'm everybody's little brother, you know what I'm saying? I'm the youngest nigga outside. It's just older black kids, but older black suburban kids, and we think we thugging, you know what I'm saying? Because we outside, you know, smoking, selling a little weed and shit like that. And we had like the hoes come through. The block was kind of turned or whatever. We used to, my nigga had he put Lamborghini doors on a fucking Civic, and at the time that shit was lit. So I'm hanging outside, passenger side, trying to holler at bitches and shit. So I think, you know what I'm saying? And this nigga, he was kind of like, you could say my big homie at the time, because he's the one who kind of like pulled me outside. So when I joined that little shit, like after a couple months, niggas was like, okay, well, we gonna rock colors. I'm like, all right, cool. That's cool. And then bandanas. I'm like, all right, cool. So what's this about? Da, 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 da. And then niggas started seeing how we was rocking, and it was like, yo, these niggas really think they gangbanging. This is suburbs and shit like that. You niggas like, what the fuck you niggas on? Da, da, da. And it was like blood niggas. We kept getting into it with like blood niggas. Like they would hate on us and shit. Like, oh, you one of them Montecito boys? Like, nah, like they automatically would like try to target niggas like, oh, you one of them Montecito boys. So I'm just like, yo, everybody we getting into it is blood. And my nigga was just like, fuck it. Let's just start like acting like we Crips and shit. I'm just like, all right, fuck it.
Now listen though, were they acting like Bloods, or in that portion
was they real like Bloods?
I mean, on the East Coast, you know, we got the whole New York thing, and everybody in Deltona, like it's a real heavy New York influence. Like a lot of people.
Okay.
When they hear me speak, they think I'm from New York, or they think I'm from up north and shit like that. Because everybody sounds like everybody has a up north accent in Deltona. Everybody does, but like it's a real heavy New York influence. Like,
and when this stuff going on right now, what's the soundtrack to this gang life bubbling up in Florida? What are y'all listening to? What music y'all listening to?
Lies, Nipsey, Bullets Ain't Got No Names. I was listening to Gucci, fucking Franchise Boys, T.I., Jeezy, and Game. That's when like Game and 50 Cent. That's when I was like, yo, I'm trying to be outside. I'm trying to be like a tough guy. I'm trying to be like one of them. Game, he was my favorite rapper. I was like, yo, this nigga, yo, he's really like a bully type nigga. Like that's the type of nigga I want to be like. Then I started hearing about Tookie Williams and shit like that, because we was like trying to be Chris. So I'm just like, I started researching this shit, and then I ran into a nigga that was, I don't want to say really what he was, really a part of a non-official faction of the Crips. So he's just like, nah, nigga, like, nah, come join this. And then I see what you trying to do. I'm like, nah, I'm a Montecito boy. Like, we was throwing C's up and everything. So I just started saying I was from Cito Block Crip. I started really trying to push that shit. I made my own little Crip set. Like, I was like, yo, I wasn't trying to be a Montecito boy. I was really trying to be for real a Crip, because like everybody I was getting into it was Bloods. Like we was just getting. I'm like, yo, everybody I'm getting into. I might as well just be a Crip, because every nigga I'm getting into it with his Bloods. So fuck it. Well, I'm just gonna say I'm a Crip, and then the other non-official Crips in the city, they like accepted me, and then when I finally joined the first non-official Crips set of the faction of the 20s, and I was like, all right, cool, I'm really a Crip now. But I was like, there was no knowledge or whatever. Like I didn't know shit. So I was online saying I was from 20s and shit like that. And niggas was like trying to check, and I didn't know shit.
Niggas was checking your temperature, asking you questions like, who is such and such, and why we do this, and you like, I don't know.
Where the hood at? I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, we
right
know here.
So listen, your like, first day in Long Beach, how is it? Like you your feet on the soil, nigga. You here, nigga. How was that to you? Like, how you feeling?
It was all I was when I got off the plane, I fucking threw up. I ain't gonna lie. I was nervous. I threw the fuck up. As soon as I touched down at LAX, I threw the fuck up. But like when I touched down in Long Beach, like it was all love. All love, all love. Like I wasn't even expecting love. I'm just like, yo, it's gonna be whatever. Like I'm ready for whatever. Like niggas want to maybe see where I'm at or whatever. But like niggas just like, yo, you really out here, nigga? You really out here like, yo, nigga.
Now listen, how long was it? So you started when you joined the unofficial faction of the set. How long was it before you actually went to Long Beach? Like, what was the time period and when you joined, and then you like, no, I gotta go to Long Beach?
It was, I would say, it was a couple of years, like maybe like 18 months, maybe like it was real. It was like a real short time period because it was just like right after that I got locked up for 3 years. It was just like boom.
So you come back from Long Beach. Now
Yeah.
you the official. You the big
Yeah.
homie now. You
I came back with gas. So I'm just like, nah, nigga, like, you know, I had a different energy. I had a different energy. Niggas like, man, this can't be the nigga that was running to the stove for us. They're like, hell no, nah, this nigga walk around, he walk around chest poked out, nigga, cuz that. You know everything now. You know all the history, A to Z, where this is at, that is, you know everything. So it was just like I was going around. I was a nigga that was kind of like responsible for like teaching niggas about their shit. Cause it's like now I'm the one that knows a lot. I done been sitting here smoking blunts with OGs. Niggas is like 40, 50 years old telling me like, oh yeah, damn, you know, it started over here. Me and such did this. This is how the set started. This is why we wear this color. This is why we wear this and this, that, and this is how you do this. I'm just like, look.
So you finally got the knowledge, basically, and you take the knowledge back to the neighborhood and say, this is what we go do. If we go do it, we go do it. Now, when you get back to Florida, you get locked up immediately. Like, how long you on the street before you get locked up after coming back from Long Beach?
Like 6 months. Like 6 months, because I was still in school too. So, but like barely.
Right, because you were a 16-year-old kid at the time.
I was like more like closer to 18, really, at this time that I'm talking about now, where I'm like really active. You know what I'm saying? But it was closer to 18 when I was for real active, but I was still in school because I like had to repeat my senior year because I kept getting in trouble and shit. But yeah.
So you get locked up when you going through this jail system. Is you cripping in jail in Florida?
Hell yeah, like I was real ignorant. I was real ignorant when I was 18, 19. All I wanted to do, and I felt like because you know I'm not like from the projects traditionally or whatever like that. I was a nigga that would just like go to the projects and hang out, but like everybody knew I'm not from the hood. I'm a schoolboy. My parents are preachers and shit. You know what I'm saying? So they're just like, what the fuck is this nigga doing outside?
So let's get back to your upbringing. You say your parents are preachers. You got a little sister. Your mom's an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You had a stepdad, so that's a 2-parent household. You live in Florida.
Yeah.
And you say y'all in the suburbs. So what made you even want to go outside? Like what about outside?
We mean pursue the street life because everybody should get the fuck out the house. But what made you want to pursue the street life?
I wanted money. I wanted attention from the girls that I liked. Because, you know, the ones that liked me, it wasn't the ones that I was after. And the ones that I was after niggas that you know, already had it. They either had like a name, like, oh man, that's that nigga who be walking around like beating up people and shit like that, or da-da-da, or that nigga's this, that nigga's a gangster, or them niggas be trapping over there, and then like they had money, or like they was just like real popular people. So even when I started with the Montecito shit, like it was like overnight I became like popular. People like knew who I was. We would go to house parties. People like, oh yeah, I know who you are. Like I'm like, what the fuck? And this is before social media, so it was really tripping me out how people would really like know who I was. Like, you know, and I'm just like, yo, really, like everybody who was popular out here was a gang member. Like they was either Blood, Latin King, or Crip. And
now this is a crazy question, but maybe you know. What blood set were they?
There's a lot of G Shines out here, and the G Shines is official. I ain't gonna front. Them niggas is for real. G Shines. There's some 9 trays out here. There was the niggas that we mainly got into it was the 20 Bloods, and they was around the corner. I don't know if the niggas was official, but we would get into it with them niggas all the time. But there was some niggas claiming Dipset. Everybody just wanted to be Bloods back in. Like,
Niggas claiming Dipset is a wild ass reality because people I just was talking to my wife about this earlier today, and I said people really underestimate how much the music plays a part in the people becoming like wanting to be a part of the underworld, right? So when me and my brother wanted to be a part of the underworld, it literally had nothing to do with music and more to do with we wanted to be in the underworld and live the underworld type of life. But the music push the allure that the music put on you about the underworld push so many people to the underworld, because everybody's not gonna be a gangster, and just because you in the underworld, you might be a hustler, you might be a scammer, a pimp, a player, you might get a couple bitches to do a couple things. So that's all underworld activity, you know what I'm saying? Everybody not gangster in the underworld. Everybody in the underworld just connect, and it's gangsters and pimps and players and snitches and rats and everything that come with the underworld.
Exactly. That's how it was presented to me. Like the niggas that like the first like Crips like outside of the suburbs that I like linked up with, and those was like the first unofficial faction of the 20s. Everybody was on some like selling drugs and like pimping type shit. And I'm just like, man, in that point in time, I wasn't really that smooth. So I couldn't see myself like
right.
What really drew me to it was this nigga, you know, I ain't gonna say his name, but I used to say his name all the time, but fucking I was just chilling with him. It was just one time he picked me up. He was a little bit older too. He was like, you know, one of the older Crip niggas and shit. He was always trying to be a rapper. You know, fucking he picked us up and he got a hotel room in D-Land, and we was just like smoking all night. The nigga fucking, I'm smoking. I'm passed out. The nigga woke me up, passed me the blunt and shit like that. And then the morning time came, and he had this bitch I never seen before. And she came in, and it was one of his bitches and shit. But I didn't know that shit. And I seen his wife. He introduced me to his wife like the week before. So I'm like, okay, bro, got a wife. So we in this hotel room, and this whole other white bitch comes in, and she's mad and shit like that. And she's slamming doors. Bro, sleep or whatever. She slammed the door to the bathroom in the hotel. He jump up. He's scared. He embarrassed that he got scared in front of the little niggas and shit. So he go in there, hook the bitch around, drag the bitch by her hair, like, bitch, don't be slamming no doors in here. It's a hotel. It's a hotel. The nigga jumped up, was like, bitch, don't be slamming no doors in here. And she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm just like, yo, what is this? And he's like, bitch, man, take your ass outside, go to work. She's like, I'm going. You want anything to eat? I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this? What is this? I'm just looking at this nigga. I'm like, yo, you are God. You got a wife? He's like, yeah. I'm like, and who is this young lady? That's my girl. So I'm like, you got a wife and you got a girl? He's like, yeah. Like, they know about each other? Yeah, nigga. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'm sold. I'm like, whatever this is, I'm a part of it now. I'm all like, yo, teach me how to do that. how to be cool, nigga. All I wanted was money and pussy, man. Pussy and money. That's it.
What big city are y'all close to in Florida? Like proximity wise, what's the closest big city to y'all?
Damn, because my city is in between Orlando, Daytona Beach, and y'all heard of Travon Martin?
Yeah.
The city where he got killed is like 15 minutes down the road. So we in between like all of that. So Central Florida.
Okay, you Central Florida. Okay, Central Florida. So you come back from Long Beach, you end up in jail with a 3-year sentence. And what was your first night like after you heard them gates slam in that penitentiary? Not the county jail, you know, when
Well, when I first got to the pen, I was in there was like this flu going around, so I had to go to confinement. And when I went to confinement, they put me in a cell with a motherfucker I ain't seen since elementary school. This white boy. So I'm just like, Nicholas? What the fuck are you doing in here, Nicholas? He's like, Travon, what are you doing here, buddy? I'm like, bro, nigga, I was robbing niggas and shit, bro. What are you doing? He's like, well, man, I was selling coke, bro. I'm like, he said I was like, bro, you so cold, bro. He's He's like, bro, they call me Fish, bro. I was like, bro, what? Nigga had a fish tattoo and everything. And he told me his trap, I was actually plotting on his trap. And he was telling, I was like, man, where the fuck you was selling coke at? He was like, oh yeah, around the corner from Montecito. I'm like, boy, I was watching you niggas. I didn't know it was y'all. Like, you white boys was for real trapping. I remember like they had a petition to try to get them out of the neighborhood and shit. They was literally at the end of my street. And how I was, I'm just like, cause niggas was telling me like, yo, wherever you go, that's your shit. Like, man, and if it's your hood, if this is your territory, ain't no money being made around here that you don't got your hand in. So if niggas is making money in your little section, you need to go check that. That's like, nah, like you gotta shake down on the niggas. So I'm like, yo, damn, they was older too. I'm just like, man, these some grown niggas. I'm like, damn. But they ended up getting flipped anyways. But I was just like, I had been plotting on them and watching them, trying to like figure out when nobody was in their trap. They always had somebody there at that house. Like they used to have like shifts and shit like that. It was all white people. And then, matter of fact, there was one nigga and had a black and gold motorcycle. One nigga. But everybody else was just white. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on at the end of the street? Them white boys was getting money. Them white boys was getting paid. We over here selling Nick sacks, think we doing something. Them white boys at the other side of the street selling dope for real.
So do you and Nicholas, when y'all in there, y'all get reacquainted?
Yeah, he was just like, yo, da-da-da. And then he passed me a cigarette. And that was the first time I ever smoked a cigarette, was in the box in confinement at OCI, the Orlando Reception Center. And I hit that shit. I got lightheaded. I was like, oh, damn. Smoke cigarettes now, nigga. Like, that's the thing. But yeah, like, that was my first night. And then when we finally moved to what they call a JIT dorm, because down south, they call, like, younger people JITs. We say JIT a lot. So H dorm was the JIT dorm at CFRC. So they moved me over to the JIT dorm. And I'd been hearing about JIT camp the whole time when I was at in county jail. All the older niggas like, boy, your ass going to JIT camp. Your ass better start doing them push-ups now. Because when you get there, niggas gonna try your ass off rip and might just punch you in your shit as soon as you get there, niggas. And you need to be working out. You need to be getting your hands right. You need to go in there like a gladiator.
You need to be getting ready, nigga.
Yeah, so that's what I was doing the whole 8 months I was locked up in the county, just doing push-ups and shadow boxing and doing sit-ups and shit.
So you training to go to prison?
Huh?
I said you was training to go to prison.
I already knew I was gonna go. My lawyer already was like, yo, there's no way out of this. Yeah, this is going to prison, bro. Like, you caught a robbery case, like, when I was already out on bond because I tried to snatch a nigga's chain at school. Since I was like, at that point in time, I was 18.
You're a fucking menace at this time of your life. Like, snatching a nigga chain at school is crazy. Like, yeah. Nigga, what?
Yeah, nah, like, and my family was just like, yo, you didn't even need to do that shit. I'm like, yo, I just wanted to spread the name of my set. That's all I wanted to know. Like, yo, the 20s did this shit to you. Like, yeah. I fucked up shit and be like, yeah, the Crips did it, nigga. like, you know.
But, so you in jail.
When do you pick up a pen and start writing?
That shit is, woo, that came later because when I finally got to my camp, which was Lancaster, I don't know if y'all know 1090 Jake from YouTube. He's a white boy, white blood from YouTube. He talks about
yeah. He be doing the yeah.
We were at the same camp, but we weren't there at the same time. So it was like he pretty much became rich off of telling stories about shit that he went through when he went to Lancaster as a white blood. So yeah, lots of stabbings and slashing. You know, niggas didn't treat Bloods like Bloods didn't get no love at that point in time. But we weren't there at the same time. I left when he was there. He's a little bit younger than me and shit. But yeah, I went to Lancaster and then fucking shit. What the fuck? The fuck? Oh yeah, the pen shit. So I thought I was dumb as fuck because I'm ADHD and I didn't know I'm ADHD. I'm like, I can't focus in class. So you know, when you can't focus in class, you don't want to seem like you're dumb. So you just be like, you know, acting out. So you get kicked out or wrote up or whatever the fuck. I show up late as fuck to class and shit like that, like, and never do my homework. But I would always pass the test. because I would be able to remember, even though I wasn't thinking I was paying attention. The teacher would be up there lecturing. I'm up there trying to talk to like all the girls in the class, but I can still hear her. And the shit that she was saying was getting into my subconscious. So when the time came for me to take a test, I would just close my eyes and remember the conversation that she had. I'm just like, oh, damn, yeah, I remember she said this word and this word and this sentence. And I put it there. And even though I wasn't really comprehending what I was doing, I would just fill in the blanks from the sentences because I remember what she said.
Okay.
But I wasn't good at school. I never read a book in my life, like a full book in my life, until I went to prison. First book I ever read cover to cover was the Bible. Then I moved on to this book called Dirty Red, and it was this white boy that was from Deltona too. There was a lot of people from Deltona at Lancaster when I went, and
so y'all white boys get busy too.
Man, they was in for stealing cars and like all kind of crazy shit. So I'm just like, damn, bro, y'all was really like everybody was out there trying to get their little money. I like this. That's cool. We all kind of came up together on the same side of town, but they're just white. But dude named Fletcher or whatever, he didn't know me personally, but he heard, that I was from Deltona, and he heard that I was like, because when I went to Lancaster, like niggas already knew me. Like that's how like
you had made a name for yourself, basically.
Yeah, like niggas was like, oh, you that nigga? Like, man, I heard you be wildin', boy. Like, you in those suburbs wildin', boy.
I heard you snatched the nigga chain at school.
Yeah, like I was really, really on that shit. Like, I wanted to be Tookie Williams and Suge Knight so fucking bad. I thought I was Suge Knight, really. So I kind of like, I took on that persona because back then I was 220. As a high school kid, so I'm bigger. I'm like big man on campus down there, 220. I was like 5'9", 5'10", so everybody is way smaller than me. So I'm like for real in school, like Suge Knight. So yeah, I'm just like, I needed to make a name for myself because 3-4 years ago, everybody knew me from, just that nerdy nigga trying to make the basketball team. So now I'm trying to come out and niggas is just like, oh, this nigga, oh, you a gangster now? Niggas, I think I got a chapter in Money Mac Murder called Overnight Gangsters. Cause like niggas used to try to say that shit like, oh, but you niggas is gangsters overnight. Like, hell no. we not accepting that shit. So I had to go a lot harder because niggas knew me for playing basketball, like not no gangster shit. But I read a book called Dirty Red. And it was a book about this fine red bone bitch from the hood, and she can have any nigga she wants, and she targets drug dealers. And at the time, I went to prison because once I developed a little bit of game and a little bit of swagger about myself, I found it was real easy to talk a woman into setting a nigga up. So that's basically what I was, I would convince a woman to, and it was only weed dealers, because back in the day, back out here, them niggas didn't have no gun. Before 2010, like nobody had guns. We was like cool and bad because we was the only niggas in the whole city with pistols and shit. Like this is how like, suburban this place was, like if you had a gun, you was like that nigga. Like nobody had pistols. Niggas was gangbanging, throwing rocks at each other. I swear to God.
That's fucking hilarious, dog. So you said, so what you would do, because y'all had the pistols, is you would set the dingers up, because I'm gonna go in there, they ain't even got no pistols.
They don't got nothing. We walking in and walking out with everything.
Yeah.
It was easy. It was literally just, just give it up.
Yeah.
Easy.
So do this book change your life and make you want to be an author, since you kind of
No, like I was just reading so much urban books, it made me want to read. I never think that I would write, because I'm just like, at this point when I'm reading, I still think I'm dumb. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, oh, the only reason why it interests me was because it was a book about, hood
shit you were doing.
Yeah, shit that I was on, like the vibrations that I was on, like, oh damn. That's the type of bitch that I would like not even like be interested in romantically, but like, yo, we could rule the world together.
Right, right.
But and then I read another book called Pit Bulls in a Skirt, and it was basically the same vibe where it was like these girls, they're like, I don't want to say married, but they were with these like big time dope boys or whatever. All like is these clique of girls, and all they niggas is like they all sell dope together and shit like that, and then they all get flipped by the feds, but they need to keep the operation going. So these bitches start like running dope for their niggas while they're locked up, and then they're in control over like different neighborhoods of niggas, and like they're just real boss bitches. I'm just like, yo, I ain't never heard no shit like that. A bitch doing no, boss shit, like for real, like running niggas. That's unheard of. And it was 4 like that. So before I looked up, I was like, damn, I done read 10 books and they were all about gangster shit. So I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. Then when I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, I'm like, multiple streams of income? What is this? Damn. I thought you only, okay, so you get this, you get that, da, da. Okay, like cool. Then I read a book about the stock market. I'm like, yo, when I get out, I'm gonna this is my life plan. I was like, I'm gonna sell coke, I'm gonna pimp bitches. And then I'm gonna invest in the stock market. That was my life.
But that's actually not a bad plan though. I can't front. Like
it's not, but it's just,
How far are you into your sentence when you discover reading?
Like maybe halfway through, because I was still trying to be on the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I was still trying to be like, okay, everybody know me in here. I'm trying to like, basically learn how to fight and all that shit, because niggas wasn't really fighting like that before we got locked up. Like, you think you fighting, but when you in a place where like, yo, this is what all niggas do. Like, yo, this is my spot in line. You got to type me up. Or yo, this my time in the shower. Like this is my time slot. Like any little thing, like yo, this is my spot in the child line. This is my spot here. Niggas is fighting just because it's Friday night fights. Niggas is fighting because you the new nigga in the dorm. Niggas is fighting it's even worse if you claim you gang bang. Niggas gonna be on your ass just to see what you do. Like, oh, you think you a gang member? You go in there, like by the time you hit the dorm, we already know everything about you. Like you'll be walking with your little sack and all your little belongings, and we're looking out the window. And then by the time you even get to the dorm, like we already know where you from, what you bang, all that shit. And niggas is gonna press you while you making up your bed. It's gonna be usually it's a nigga like me. I will come in there with the broom, real friendly, you know what I'm saying? Real friendly, real cool at first, because the little step down shit. And I learned this from the Zos. I don't know if y'all know about ZMF and shit way over in Detroit, but Kodak Black, he's making that shit famous right now. But it was the shit called Zo Mafia where I was at, and them niggas is the kings of extortion and step down this shit. When
they Haitians, right?
The Haitians, them niggas took me up through there my first week. My first few days, I didn't talk to nobody, and then when it somehow like it was like every 90 days there was like a big war that would go on. And I had got there at a time where they were beefing with the GDs. And at that point in time, in the prison system, if you crip, you labeled as a gangster disciple. So I'm going through the whole time. I'm going through it with niggas. I'm like, yo, I am not no fucking folk, bro. Like, don't come to me like I'm not a gangster disciple. I'm a crip. And this is different. Like, oh, nah, all y'all is sixes and all y'all rep blue and all that. I'm like, yo, it's different. But niggas is anything that went on with the GDs, like niggas was pressing you too. So there wasn't no GDs in the dorm. So niggas was just like, yo, all Crips and cutthroats and gangster disciples got to tighten up the Zos. And it was just me, some fucking 4'11" country ass nigga named Short from Tallahassee, and this white boy. He literally looked like Donald Duck, this white boy with glasses, talking about he was Crip. And at the time, I was like, man, I'll take what I can get. Because these niggas is like 30. I like, whatever, you want to do this Crip shit with me? All right, so they're like, come back in the room. And it was my nigga Ike. I got him on Facebook right now, my very first fight in prison. I was so green, it's a big ass room. And there's niggas in there. But I'm just thinking, okay, they just want to see something. You know what I'm saying? Niggas, you know how niggas crowd around, they want to see a fight or whatever. Niggas is looking at me like, oh yeah, what's up? And I'm like, come back in the room. I'm like, all right. So me and the nigga short go in the room. He go on one side. There's a nigga like facing the wall or whatever, like with his setup on this side, and a nigga on that side, like with his fucking boots on. My nigga Ike, he had like no shirt on, his little shorts and his boots on and shit, stretching and shit. And it's just like, oh, you gonna fight Ike. And then the nigga short was over here, he fought somebody else on the other side of the room. So as soon as I square up with the nigga, and then we started trading blows, and the nigga just boom, grabbed me. It seemed like the whole fucking room got up and then started stomping the shit out of my ass. I was just like niggas was just like jumping off the top bunks on my ass. Niggas was trying to kick me in my nuts, bro. I'm like, yo, I'm literally balled up in the corner of a room. Niggas is stomping me with them steel-toe boots, kicking the shit out of me. Some nigga, I'll never forget it. It was this Zoe nigga named Chris, mouth full of goals. I will never forget this nigga in my life. I'm balled up. Niggas is kicking the shit out of me, trying to kick me. He's like, yo, move, fool. This nigga, he got the lock, bro. He got the lock on the sock. He whacking my ass. I'm like, God damn. I'm just trying to protect my head and my face because I know this nigga's trying to split me. So I'm like, God damn. Niggas just hit my fucking arms with that shit. I'm like, oh my, if this nigga fucking hits me one more time, I'm finna pass the fuck out. That shit, I'm like, God damn. So right when I was about to pass out, the CO comes in. It was a lady. She comes in, all the niggas run out the room. And then my shirt's all ripped up, my face is all fucked up and shit. Everything's all just fucked up. She's looking at me, she's like, oh my God, are you okay? I'm like, yeah. Them niggas is like right there behind her too. Like, I wish you would say something, nigga. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm straight. Everything's cool, miss. She's like, are you sure? He's like, I heard a lot of stuff going on back here. I'm like, nah, we was just working out back here. So when she left, I'm thinking they about to get on my ass again. So I'm just like, all right, cool, what's up? They're like, nah, you good. I'm like, what? It was just like, we just had to handle business because, you know, that was just business. Like, but we actually fuck with you. You a cool nigga, but like, you know, it's just business. You a crip.
But that play been called. Yeah, nigga called that shot. That shot gotta go out. That gotta happen. So listen, when you read the books, you got it in your mind, you go pimp and sell coke to invest in the stock market. When do you finally say, fuck it, I'm gonna be an author? I done read all these books.
That was like fucking, I only been writing for like maybe like 4 years. That's because I used
that was because your grandmother passed that you started actually writing, right?
Yeah. When my grandma died, you know, that was my baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm a grandma's boy. So when she died, I was like lost mentally. And I went through a lot of shit mentally that I didn't understand. And I feel like I was like kind of almost like sleepwalking. Like I turned into a wino. Now I would wake up drinking wine and shit like that. I'm drinking a little wine right now. I still enjoy a little taste, but but yeah, I was just drunk all the time. I could never drive nowhere because I was always drunk. And I didn't want to work. I couldn't work. Well, I could work, but I didn't want to work. All I did was fucking sit around, feel sorry for myself, and fucking get high all day and shit like that. So I literally was just numbing myself from everything. And anybody and anyone that would come over, I found myself just pouring my life story out to them. Just like venting. Like somebody is just like, they be coming over to visit my girl, and I'm just coming out there and it's like, hey, yeah, oh my God. I was like, that's what happened to me. I'm like, oh my God, like just venting. And I feel like it was my girl's homegirl. Like, I don't know if she was like being funny or if she was for real being like inspirational, but she was just like, yo, you should write a book. I'm like, and it was like I'm like telling her war stories, unsolicited prison stories. Yeah, and then I whacked the nigga with a lock, and then, oh my God, they stomped me the fuck out, and then da-da-da, man, I seen the nigga get stabbed in the neck, and she's just like, okay.
Hey, she like, you wild, son.
Like, you need to do something with this, you know?
Right.
So I'm like, yeah, maybe I should channel that energy, because I found myself just like venting and giving people unsolicited gang and prison stories, because that's all I had at that point in time. That's really all I had experienced. So that's all I could talk about. And I felt like I just needed to, I don't know, I just needed to fucking vent. Cause I felt like, damn, my grandma's gone. I'm alone. I don't have nothing. And I don't, I fuck with niggas. That's why niggas really don't fuck with me like that. They don't like me because they call me bougie and shit. Cause it's like I fuck with niggas, but then I prefer to be around my bitch or my girl. She don't like when I say the B word, but my girl, or I prefer the company of a woman all the time over a man. So
Right.
Yeah, me too, 1,000%. I ain't hanging
sure.
with no hard legs, homie.
Yeah.
So now you write your first novel,
Money Mac Murder.
Money Mac Murder.
Yeah.
Describe the feeling of you first holding the print copy in your hand, the very first time you touched the print copy of Money Mac Murder.
That was one of the greatest experiences of my life. And I really just wanted to see my name on some shit. And I started with me losing my grandma. It really had me thinking about life and legacy and doing something that would outlive me. Cause I'm just like, damn, what can I do that's gonna make sure that cause I want to live forever, nigga. Like, that's my thing. I want to live forever. And one thing that lives forever is these books, texts. So I wasn't even planning on publishing it because at first, even anybody that reads Money Mac Murder, it starts off by me talking about I started talking about my earliest memories as a child. And it was me talking to my grandma saying that I wanted to be rich. And then I skipped to my other earliest memories is when I first saw the first pimp I ever seen in my life. I was probably like, because I lived on the Host Road. Like where my grandma lives, that is like heavy prostitute central. And so I'm on the porch watching women get in and out of cars, and then I'm watching the dudes walk up and down the street with their suits on, looking fly and shit like that. And I'm seeing niggas, and I'm seeing the dope boys drive by with the 24s and the 20s and the 22s and the loud systems.
So you pretty young, man, because you talk about 2004. And so what's your age range?
I'm 33. I know
Okay.
I look older and shit, but it's because I'm bald. Prison. I lost on prison.
So after you when do you decide to publish though? Like when do you say I'm publishing this? This got to go out. The world got to know this story.
It was when I got done with Money Mac Murder. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna just put this out and like just see what happened. But matter of fact, before that, I wrote a book on fasting. That was the very first book that I wrote because I used to be a personal trainer. So I was trying to fucking like monetize what I knew, and it'd be easier if I could just put it in an ebook and I could reach people that I could never reach physically for a training session. So I started putting all my little workouts on paper, not paper, but like in a little file. And then I started uploading my workouts and shit because people were like, yo, what workouts do you do? I'm like, oh, well, I got them on Amazon, 99 cents. Then they're like, oh, well, how do you lose weight? And So I wrote a guide of how to lose weight and shit. Then I put that on there. And then that's when Money Mac Murder came about. So I'm just like, I already know that I could write. So I wanted to kind of tell my story my way. So when I'm not here, years from now, whatever, and somebody reads it, it's just like, damn, there's this place called Deltona and D-Land in Florida. And way back in the early 2000s, them niggas was out there wilding.
Now listen, while you doing this writing, are you going back and forth to Long Beach, or you just went that one time?
Yeah, while I was writing, I was definitely going back and forth and hanging and shit like that. But I wasn't like an active participant. I'm just like, oh yeah, that's the homie. He's, he changed it. I was the homie that changed his life and shit. Because I tell everybody, I feel like I jumped off the porch twice. Jumped off the porch, went to prison, got involved with fitness and shit like that, came out, started being a personal trainer and shit, did a little bit of modeling and shit.
You
And
did some bodybuilding too at one point, didn't you?
Yeah. I was competing in bodybuilding and shit like that. And then that's when I kind of started getting attention. And then that's when like niggas was just like, hey, don't forget about the hood now. Don't forget about the set.
So you wanted to be Tookie Williams for real, because Tookie was a bodybuilder.
Yeah, Tookie and Arnold. Because when I read Tookie Williams' book like 4 times when I was locked up, Blue Rage Black Redemption.
Did you read Monster Cody Scott book?
I didn't read that one, but I watched the movie like 3 times for sure.
Man, I read that book when I was a kid, man, and I thought to myself, like, this guy is a monster. When they had that shootout in the grocery store with his mama 3 hours over, I couldn't believe that, man. That shit had California seeming like the Wild Wild West, like literally. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? And my pops and shit and uncles and shit was involved in the underworld and get busy with them guns and shit. But that shit right there, I couldn't imagine having to shoot out in the grocery store with my mom 3 hours over, let alone even in the same grocery store. That's wild. That was wild to me.
Yeah, no, even out here, niggas run down on you when you with your mom, when you with your girl. I done caught niggas slipping when they was with their bitch, and I didn't give a fuck. So that's why I always kept a pistol on me, because this is like a blood city. Well, really now it's like more so a Latin King city. You know what I'm saying? So, either way, not really too Crip friendly, but niggas know me, so that's why I'm good. Niggas like, man, you know. Niggas know me from back in the day. Like if you banging whatever, like you know me.
Right. So when you release Money Mac Murder, with the success of it, you said I'm a full-time author, because that led to you actually.
Nah, I was trying to be street famous. Cause after I put out Money Mac Murder, it was like I think I started trapping again. I don't know. After that, yeah. I went back to the street because I was like, yo, these personal training wasn't paying the bills, and I was making more money selling weed to my training clients than I was actually training them. So I'm just like, yo, I'm gonna just sell weed, like. Because I could stay here for an hour and make you do burpees and squats and lunges. And, you know, at that point in time, I was real just sloppy with my shit. I'm like training people smoking blunts. I'm just like, yeah, 4 more. Nah, this ain't my workout. Don't look at me. This is your workout. So I lost that edge, but I was just like, no, this ain't really I'm not making no money training nobody. It was cool, whatever, but
it was cool to say, but it wasn't a cool job because it wasn't bringing in the money.
No, I mean, when I was in prison, it sounded like it was like, I'm like, yeah, like I'm gonna be a personal trainer. If I don't become a pimp and sell coke or whatever, I'm gonna be a personal trainer. Because like everybody, that's one thing. I used to let everybody work out with me, whether you was Blood, King, like. When we was on the rec yard, none of that shit mattered. We'd be full-blown war in the dorm, but when it came to that workout shit, like niggas be like, yo, I'm finna work out with you. Like we really bonded over like working out together and shit like that. So
in one instance, working out saved your life because it was a common ground.
A lot of instances, because being a Crip in the prison system, you're always going to be outnumbered. In Florida, there's literally Crips are non-existent. There was probably like 5 Crips in the entire compound at Lancaster. So that's why usually the Crips in the prison system run with the gangster disciples, because gangster disciples are plentiful in the prison system in Florida. Every time I went to jail, I met a gangster disciple. So like you gonna see them. They come mostly white boys, but the Daytona area, a lot of gangster disciples.
So when do you decide to write? Because you write actually was what people might not know about you. You write actually street romance novels.
Yeah, the street romance novel came from because I wanted to add, my wife to the storyline of Money Mac Murder because she is a huge influence to how the story came out, because when I got out, I got into a relationship with her. So actually, like, she's a huge part of the whole Money Mac Murder plot. So I'm like, damn, I got to tell her story now. Because I told the Desiree story, and I'm like, I got to tell, you know, my girl's story and what it would be like basically being a girl from the suburbs, being this wild ass nigga. And, you know, because when I was on fucking, because when I got out, I was on house arrest, and I was still trying to trap because I had to pay $7 a day for the little ankle monitor shit with no job. I'm 22 at the time, no money, no nothing. So I'm like, I gotta do something. So I was selling my little Nick sacks, and she would drive around town for me and make deliveries. And at that, like, that was like, you know, I was just like test her with a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more, and she was just with it. I'm like, yo, all right, well, go here,
like just the one.
Yeah, I'm like, go here, pick this up, take this up. So like, I'm calling plays, and she's doing, you know, she's
running them. You coaching, and you the coach of the team, and she the player.
And any woman, like, yeah, any woman that is down for me like that, you know, that really just made me fall in love with her even more. But
now, why you doing all this and you in jail and all of that shit? How's your relationship with your moms?
Oh man, you know, I'm a mama's boy. I got her name tatted on me and shit like that. Mom, she got PTSD from this whole situation because she was just like, I remember when she found out I was a Crip for real, like not just saying it and just like playing and shit. She cried. She cried. And I could tell her heart was broke. She cried, and she saw the tattoos on me and the guns, and I was coming home beat up and shit. Cause I'm getting into it with blood niggas, getting beat up and shit. And she's just like, well, why are these boys hitting you? What is going on? I'm like, I don't know. And then she did her own little research, and she's just like, you know what? I've been finding guns in your room, and you never wear red. Like, all your clothes are blue now, blue or black or gray. Like, that's all you wear is blue mainly, and you don't never wear red no more. Are you in a gang? I'm like, nah. She's like, okay, well then put this red shirt on. It was one of my old Bulls jersey. And everybody that knows anything about gangbanging, like the Bloods wear the Bulls and shit like that, the BULLS, body, unity, love, lust, and soul. That's they 5. So I'm like, I'll never wear a bullshit. You know what I'm saying? She made me put the bullshit on and walk down the street. So I'm walking down the street. I'm like, I'm not thinking that nobody's going to trip on me because this is my block. It was a Crip nigga from the other side of town who didn't know me, hanging out the window like, fuck slobs, nigga. Fuck slobs. I'm like, I'm a Crip, nigga. But he kept driving though. I'm like, nigga, I'm a Crip. I'm like, I knew exactly who it was. It was a white boy named Shrek. He was from Rolling 30s. I don't know, but he was hanging out the window like, nigga, fuck slobs. I was like, yo, damn, man.
That is hilarious, dog.
Yeah, that was real life, nigga. The suburbs, nigga, suburbs.
So when do you hook up with Stanley? Because you got Money Mac Murder. You go back to the streets, but eventually you hook up with Stanley because of your writing, right? When do this occur?
Yeah, like when he reached out to me, like I thought he was good. I thought it was on some funny shit. I thought he was trying to get me. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's how Long Beach is. Long Beach is the all Crip city.
A lot of all Crip on Crip violence, right?
Every single black neighborhood in Long Beach is a Crip one. And that's what I love about Long Beach. I love the fact that it's an all Crip city in every black neighborhood, and even some Asian ones are Crips. Everybody's Crips. Everybody walking around cuz. That shit is the coolest shit I ever seen in my life. If you've never seen that before, and then because out here on the East Coast, grown ass people aren't gang members. You don't see people that are like 30, 40 plus still walking around talking about cuz. But out there, niggas 50, 60, old as fuck, talking about on crib. I'm like, yo, this is where I need to be. This is home, nigga. And niggas was just like, yo, we fuck with you. They like fully embraced me. So they're just like, nigga, you Long Beach. I'm just like, oh man, that's what it is.
So
And
when he reached out to you, were you in Long Beach or were you back in Florida?
I was in Long Beach when he reached out to me. And since I wasn't, like I said, I'm not born and bred, I had no idea how deep the beef went. So I'm talking to this nigga. I'm with the homies. I'm outside. I'm outside with the homies and shit while Stanley's writing me. I'm just like, yo, like, y'all know this nigga? They're like, oh, hell no. Don't fuck with that nigga, Kev. Like, yo, hell no. Like, we got beef with them niggas. Like, we fuck with them niggas for real. Like, we drop one of them niggas for real. I'm like, for real? Like, yo, cuz probably trying to get you, bro. I'm like, damn. I ain't even know. Cause I'm like, man, he came at me with some cool shit. Niggas was just really in my head, like, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
What made you not listen to him?
I don't like being told what to do. So, like, if you telling me don't do it, I would be like, I would do it. Like, don't. So naturally, I'm a rebel. So I checked him out. I started doing research on him. I looked him up on YouTube. I'm like, damn, this nigga got an interview with street gangs and shit like that. I'm like, what? Like, this nigga's a real deal. I'm like, yeah, he's from Four Corner Block, but I'm like, he seemed like he's like a real, like, intelligent motherfucker. Like he seemed like, yeah, he don't put in some work, but he seemed like he's like elevated from that shit. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I reached back out to him, but we couldn't link before I got back on the flight. But I'm just like, we kept talking and kept talking. And then I was already probably like 75% done with like Project Baby. I was gonna put that out. And then he hit me with the like, yo, like, I want to sign you. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, to a publishing contract. I'm like, you want to sign me? He's like, yeah, I'll pay you X amount. I'm like, nigga, you finna pay me. And at this point in time, I was having trouble selling my copies of Money Mac Murder and shit like that. So I never expected to make no money off my books. I'm just writing this shit for entertainment and entertain myself, really. But the nigga's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna pay you, I'm gonna send a check. I'm like, yeah, whatever, blah, blah, whatever. The nigga, you know, he's bullshitting, he's capping. When that check got here, I'm just like, bro, this nigga really paid me. Now I gotta finish the story. Cause like, yo, damn. But when he paid me, I wasn't even done with the story yet, bro. So I'm like, yo, this nigga paid me for some shit that I ain't even like, yo, he trusts me that much to like pay me in full for some shit that I didn't even give him yet. I wasn't even done with the story. I could just be like, yo, fuck you, nigga, I'm keeping your money. And he took that risk. So that made me not want to fuck him over. Because I'm just like, yo, like, we're already taking a risk fucking with each other. And he's going to send me some money and trust me off the strength that I'm going, you know, hold up the bargain on my end, because I could have just blocked the nigga and kept the money. But
I'm happy you didn't do that, because that could have possibly reignited the beef in Long Beach, and you ain't even in Long Beach to have to bear that beef.
Yeah, exactly. Niggas is real big on, if you're not from around here, don't start nothing, because niggas got to live there, and well, you get on the plane and go back home. So, you know, niggas is real big on like, nah, don't be trying to come out here acting all tough. That's why niggas fuck with me, because I wasn't out there trying to be like super tough gangbanger. Like, oh, I'll go out here and fade all these niggas. I'll go out here like, nah, like, nigga, I'm about money. I like my money, whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I box. So if we gonna line it up, we can line it up. But, you know, I ain't no killer or nothing like that. You know, so don't put no.
Project Baby end up being big for the whole company. Talk about that.
I didn't think that, like, that's one of them stories I never thought that shit would even go as big as it went, because that was just a spinoff. Because Project Baby is a spinoff of Money Mac Murder, because it's basically Money Mac Murder is based on my life, and how Project Baby came about is because that was a time when I was going around in Central Florida, all Central Florida, G checking Crips, G checking you. If your shit wasn't right, I was stripping you. And if I ain't heard of your set, you niggas ain't Crip no more. So it was just kind of just like I was going around G checking shit, and I found these people.
So you going around bullying the whole Central Florida?
Not the whole Central Florida, but just other Crips, because I was like, okay, when I had that gas, I'm like, all right, before we start doing like beefing with other people, it's time to do like clean my own house up. So I wanted to make sure this shit was being ran correctly and the West Coast way. I ain't care. I don't care if you from New York. I don't respect that shit. If you claiming you Crip, we following LA politics, and you gonna do it this way, and this is how you gonna do it. So, and I wasn't the only one that was on the vibe. Like there was 30s, there was rolling 30s and rolling 60s out here. So we had this thing that we like to call the ozone. So there was the 20s, the 30s, and the 60s. So it was like if you wasn't rolling 20s, rolling 30s, or rolling 60s, we wasn't having that. Like you was gonna have to be one of those sets. You were gonna have to fall up under one of them things. So when I heard about the Insane Garfield Crips, like niggas trying to do their own thing, they wanted to be Crips, the same similar story, but they was in the projects with it. So now we some kids from the suburbs, because we got all the knowledge. We looking at them like them the country ass niggas. We the city kids. So they over here trying to do the gang thing. They still saying gangster disciple knowledge, throwing up sixes and shit like that. So we just like, oh, you niggas is you niggas is not official. So check me out. You niggas like you gonna come to either 20s or 30s, or it's gonna be problems. Like we either gonna beef with you, or you could be a part of us. Like we went over there on their block and was like, you could either be 20s, 30s, 60s, or nothing. And niggas was like, all right, we gonna be rolling 30s. I was like, that's what it is now. So this whole shit over here, all you niggas, everybody, this rolling Crip now. So we would have all the Crips just come, and like that's how cause when I was in Cali, like niggas teach you how to take over neighborhoods. Like there's really like it's a science to this shit.
It's
taking
protocol
over neighborhoods and keeping control and intimidation. It's mainly psychology, really. And so once you really get the game of how to like take over some shit, the first thing is presence. Show presence. So when we want to take over some shit, I'll just like have niggas from like Orlando and Sanford and all over. We'll just start hanging on that block. We'll just be there super extra out with like all the bandanas on, mugging niggas and shit like that. You have just like, it was quiet yesterday. Now there's 30 niggas wearing blue on your block tomorrow. And like, damn, what the fuck? So like, that's the first stage, like visibility. I call it the visibility stage. So motherfuckers see it like, yo, what the fuck is that? Then like, once they like, after like a few weeks of like the visibility stage, niggas started like asking questions. Then you started to be like, oh, like who runs this shit? Like, who's the niggas who like get into shit? Who the niggas around here like selling dope? Who the niggas around here hitting licks? Like those are niggas I want to link up with. And then we hit them with the same thing. Like, look, and we deeper than them, because we would absorb. We would just go around. And I took this from Tookie Williams, because this is how Tookie spread the Crips on foot. He would go around and absorb smaller gangs. So it's like, we're deeper than y'all. So we could either beef with us or be a part of us. And everybody always chooses to be a part of the bigger, the safety in numbers. There was niggas who still to this day hate my fucking guts, but just because they didn't want no beef, they go ahead and follow the program. Because it's just like, damn, like it's only 5 of us, and niggas together every day, and like we like 30 deep, and we together. We hop out 4 or 5 cars deep on your block.
Yeah.
So Project Baby actually got y'all some news coverage and everything, because it was big for the city of Long Beach that y'all 2 sets will actually even work together. Talk about the exposure and the visibility stage of that, because that was the same type of visibility stage. Yeah. So talk about that.
Yeah. Being on the news for Project Baby, I say it's a gift and a curse. Cause that shit, once I got it, nobody had I didn't get no hate or whatever until I got on the news. And the reporter kind of reported it that like, I was saying that I was like born there, and like niggas from Long Beach, like they're real big on like if you're not born here, you can't really like like claim the city or whatever. But also
you can't capitalize off of it.
They didn't want me like kind of looking at it like this nigga is eating off of our city and he's really from the East Coast and shit like that. But in the same breath, like another group of niggas would be like, we love you, we accept you, you're one of us. And how LA goes, when you get put on a neighborhood, that's your hood. Like you're not joining a gang, you're being accepted into a neighborhood. It's different, like gang banging on the East Coast, because it's like when you're on the East Coast, you're joining a gang. And it's like maybe like 10, 15 of y'all. But on the West Coast, it's the entire neighborhoods and families of people, generations of people that have been doing this for like 30 plus years, that it's like a fucking...
It's like getting married into a family. Like your parent, like now you a part of the family. You're not a stepchild, you're a bonus child.
It's a very dangerous fraternity. And a blessing to be a part of, especially if you don't have any blood ties. So somebody like me, not having any blood ties and still being accepted as a full-fledged, legitimate, for real member, like I could go whenever, no escort, no big homie, pull up to the hood park and it's like, oh, what's up, bro? Like everything's cool. And then I started bringing people from Florida with me. I started just bringing people bringing people to the block, to the hood. Niggas was just like, nigga, what? Like, you got me outside, like, South LA, nigga. Like, yeah, nigga, like, this my hood. This my shit, nigga. Niggas like, I'm out here 2,000 miles away, chilling at the hood park, smoking and shit with my niggas from Florida and shit, and got like the homies like, oh, what's up, bro? And there's no issues, like, oh, who's that? Oh, like, oh, these my niggas from Florida. Oh, what's up, man? All love. So niggas see that shit like, yo, this nigga got the juice. But after being on TV and getting exposure that we got, and niggas,
then the hate started coming, huh?
Man, niggas, I never in my life thought that it would be this much hate, especially where like last year it was all love and like, I'm everybody's favorite little brother. But now when you do a couple things that niggas really don't approve of, when niggas can't control you, they take the other route. So when niggas seen that they couldn't really control me, niggas started trying to do slander campaigns and all this weird shit or whatever, and all this effeminate ass internet bullshit. And I'm just like, yo, I thought niggas was gangsters. Niggas was just doing all talking on the internet and all that bullshit. And
but that don't stop the momentum of the book. That actually helped with the momentum of the book, right?
I was trying to tell niggas, I'm like, yo, you niggas not liking me and not liking me fucking with Stanley and talking about me and this and that. People are like, yo, who is this nigga and why y'all niggas hate this nigga so much? Then they check me out and be like, yo, this nigga is actually, he's a cool nigga. You niggas is actually corny. So it's like, it always works out in my favor. Like they always bring people, especially women, my way. Cause it'll be like niggas, could be like, especially I write romance, it'll be like, oh, that's when niggas really stop liking me too. Cause niggas baby had a copy of my book. It was my homeboy. We grew up basically riding bikes together. His baby mama had a copy of my book. Man, this nigga started like, he turned into one of my worst enemies. You never would have think this nigga used to be all at my grandma's house and I used to be riding bikes to his house and shit like that. The way the nigga be trying to slander a nigga on some bullshit. But it's all good.
Before we get up out of here, talk about the other book, Confessions of a Side Nigga.
Confessions of a Side Nigga. Oh man, I dropped that because I felt like I wanted to write a comedy, but I also wanted to write like an erotic thing. And I wrote that story. I actually saw the cover. So I saw the cover and I bought the cover before I ever wrote the story. So I'm like, what is the vibes of this cover? Like he looked like he about to hit the pussy and it's not his. He looked like this is somebody's wife that he's about to like devour. So I'm like, he really looks like a side nigga. So that I'm like, damn, Confessions of a Side Nigga. That has a real good ring. So that's really how that story came about. Because I was just looking at the cover and the storyline just came to me from just looking at the cover.
That's dope, bro. That's dope. That's actually dope.
Yeah, that's dope. So what are you working on currently?
Project Baby 2, man. I never in my life thought that we would have a sequel, but man, but coast to coast, and it's like Project Baby is bigger in California than it is in Florida, because just like how on the East Coast we're infatuated with them, they're infatuated with us on the West Coast. They're just like, damn,
that makes sense.
There's Crips in Florida. Like when I was out there in Long Beach, I'm just like, oh yeah, we got like homies in Florida, nigga. We got a whole like we deep out there, boy. Like we got a hood in Florida. Like nigga, pull up. Like what? There's Crips way out in Florida. Like what? Like niggas was kind of just like looking at me like I was an alien, cause to them this is like just some shit that got started down the street, by the cousin, uncle and them, and this is some shit that your family does. And it's just like, damn, you niggas way 2,000 miles away is doing this shit just like us. Damn, that's crazy. There's Crips all the way on the East Coast. Like they're really just like infatuated with the fact that there's Crips and Bloods that
is spread it, that is really out there,
legitimately spread it like LA sanction. So they like that shit. They like to travel and have people everywhere in every state. So when they pull up Florida, they know, oh shit, we got homies in Florida. So people from California come to Miami all the time. So they know when they come out here, they good.
Right. So when we looking at releasing Project Baby 2?
Man, I want to shoot for the summertime, but it's really up to Stanley. But I want to I'm still outlining, because I want this shit to be the greatest thing ever, because this ain't gonna be no part 3. So I want to be able to just close the book on this and put it to bed, and then the readers be satisfied, because people are just like, yo, what happens next? What happens next? Like what happens to Desiree and all this shit, and what happened, and it's crazy, because like I said, that's like a real person. It's actually one of my co-defendants, Desiree Hanson.
Oh, straight up?
Yeah, that's why my way of like kind of getting back was using her story and her likeness and monetizing that. So it's just like, you go tell on me, shit, I'll get paid for it later. That's all good. And
one last thing you got going on, you actually run a vegan, you running a vegan restaurant, correct?
Not a restaurant, it's a meal prep business, and we operate out of like you heard of like ghost kitchens and things like that. Like
I heard of ghost kitchens, yeah.
Yeah, we'll do pop-ups and things like that. We'll go to different privately owned kitchens and operate out of there and cook out of there, and pull up in Orlando, because Orlando, the vegan scene is heavy. But yeah, vegan takeout. That's me and my wife run that shit, and we got a Live Aesthetic. That's our vegan skincare line too, that we just came out. We're just trying to push that shit now too. Everything's all vegan, paraben free, cruelty free, all that.
Cool. So how can people contact you if they need to get in contact with you, bro?
At Travon the Creator on Instagram, Travon Edwards on Facebook. If you wanna work, let's work. I'm ready.
And where can they order the books from?
Amazon or Stanley directly.
Okay, bet. And if y'all want to get in contact with me, man, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at TCEPod. Instagram and Twitter at TCEPod. What about you, SJ?
Hey, man, if they want to get at me, man, they can contact me at www.1sljackson.com. You can order your copy of the award-winning novella Animal Instinct, The Urban Jungle, or you could go to Amazon and you could type in The Adventures of Shelby Sunshine. That's a best-selling children's series book that I write with my daughter. Or you could type in Justice for Nikisha, A Father's Pain. That's a true crime novel that me and Calvin Hawkins just released about the murder of his daughter. It's a true crime novel. We had hit the charts in the true crime new releases. We was top 10 for a couple weeks. We looking for that #1 spot. That's how you contact me. I'm Santoine.
I'm Antoine.
I want for my brother what I want for myself.